Most men over 35 think testosterone drops because they got older, and yes, age matters, but it is not the whole story, because the bigger problem may be quieter. Your sleep gets shorter, your waist gets bigger, your training loses intensity, your stress stays high, and slowly, your body stops getting the same signals it used to get. Not overnight, quietly. Testosterone is not just a magic masculinity number, it is part of a bigger system: sleep, body fat, strength, recovery, stress, nutrition, and overall health. And if you have persistent low libido, erectile issues, depression, severe fatigue, or suspected low testosterone, proper lab testing and a qualified healthcare professional matter. Test. Don't guess. So these are 5 everyday habits that can quietly push the system in the wrong direction after 35. You might recognize one. You might recognize all 5. The point is not to panic. The point is to see the pattern clearly, and after each one, there is a simple rebuild step. Not a hack. A system. Habit number 1, you treat sleep like it is optional. A lot of men over 35 do not lose their energy in one dramatic moment. They slowly normalize being under-recovered. 5 or 6 hours of sleep becomes normal. Late emails become normal. Scrolling in bed becomes normal. A drink at night to relax becomes normal. Waking up already tired becomes normal. And then they wonder why the gym feels harder. The waistline moves slower, and the drive they used to have feels harder to access. One small controlled study, published in JAMA, found that 1 week of restricted sleep was associated with lower daytime testosterone in young, healthy men. That does not mean one bad night ruins your hormones. It means sleep is a real recovery signal. And after 35, recovery starts to matter more, not less. The mistake is not one late night. The mistake is building a life where the body never gets a real recovery window. When sleep becomes the first thing you sacrifice, training feels harder, appetite gets louder, mood gets flatter, and discipline starts to feel like a fight every day. You cannot out-supplement a body that never fully recovers. The rebuild step is simple. Protect the first 90 minutes before bed. Dim the lights. Cut caffeine earlier. Reduce late alcohol. Put the phone away. Keep a consistent sleep window. Not because sleep is a magic trick, because a recovered body sends a different signal than a stressed, exhausted one. Habit number 2, you ignore the waistline. Belly fat is easy to treat like a cosmetic problem. You see it in the mirror. You notice it when the shirt fits tighter. You feel it when the belt needs another hole. But the waistline is not just about appearance. It often travels with poorer sleep, lower movement, worse metabolic health, and lower measured testosterone. The important word is measured. A recent endocrine review on men with obesity explained that lower testosterone measurements can be connected to lower SHBG and obesity-related illness patterns. In plain English, a low number on a lab test does not automatically mean one simple diagnosis, and it does not mean every man with belly fat needs testosterone therapy. But it does mean the waistline is feedback. The body is telling you something about the system. That is why this habit is quietly dangerous. A man can keep saying he is just getting older, while the tape measure is giving him a more useful clue every week. The scale can lie because water, food, and muscle can move it around. But the waistline is harder to negotiate with. So do not only track the scale, track your waist once per week. Use slow fat loss, protein-first meals, more walking, fewer liquid calories, and simple consistency. You are not trying to shame the body. You are trying to read the signal. Habit number 3, you stopped training like strength matters. A lot of men still move. They walk a little. They do random cardio. They use a few machines when life allows it. That is better than nothing. But when every workout is random, light, and disconnected from progress, the body has no clear reason to rebuild. It can maintain just enough to get through the day, while slowly giving up capacity. You do not ask for any more. But it is not the same as sending a clear strength signal. Your body does not keep strength because you used to have it. It keeps strength because you keep asking for it. That signal matters even more after 35, because muscle is not only about looking better, it is about glucose control, posture, joints, confidence, independence, and how young your body feels when you move through life. A 2024 follow-up study in BMJ Open Sport and Exercise Medicine found that heavy resistance training around retirement age produced lasting benefits in leg strength years later. That study was not a testosterone study, but it supports the bigger point. Strength can be preserved when the body is trained for strength. Strength is a signal. The rebuild step: lift 2 to 3 times per week, full body, progressive, basic movements, push, pull, squat, hinge, carry. You do not need gym bro complexity. You need a repeatable strength signal that your body can understand. Habit number 4. You live in the stress, caffeine, alcohol loop. This one is not about blaming coffee. Coffee is not the enemy. The problem is when caffeine becomes the only reason you can function. You sleep badly, you wake up tired, you push through the morning with coffee, you spend the day stressed at a screen. Then at night, you try to come down with alcohol, scrolling, or another hour of work. And the same loop starts again the next morning. Stimulated all day, sedated all night. That pattern can damage recovery even when each piece looks normal by itself. The problem is that the loop hides inside normal adult life. Everyone is busy, everyone is tired, everyone needs to relax. So the pattern does not feel extreme, it just feels like Tuesday. But repeated for months, it becomes the environment your body has to adapt to. One coffee is not the issue. One drink is not the issue. But regular late alcohol and chronic excessive alcohol intake are different. A 2023 review on alcohol and testosterone synthesis reported that excessive alcohol intake, especially chronic intake, can negatively affect testosterone production in men. So do not panic over one night, but do pay attention to the pattern. The rebuild step is to fix the evening loop first. Move caffeine earlier, reduce late alcohol, take a 10-minute walk after dinner, keep the phone out of bed. The goal is not to become perfect. It is to create one cleaner evening, then repeat it. Because the first better night makes the next morning easier, and the next morning is where the whole loop can finally start to change. The goal is to stop using stimulation and sedation to survive a broken system. Habit number 5. You diet too aggressively and recover too poorly. This is where a lot of men overcorrect. They see the belly fat. They get frustrated. They decide to finally fix it. So they slash calories, skip protein, add random cardio, sleep badly, train inconsistently, and try to force the body lean through punishment. And for a few days, it feels productive. Then, energy drops. Training feels worse. Cravings rise. Motivation disappears. Libido can feel lower, and the plan becomes harder to follow. That is how a fat loss plan becomes another stressor. The man thinks he's being disciplined, but the system is underfed, underslept, and undertrained. So instead of feeling rebuilt, he feels smaller, flatter, weaker, and more frustrated. The problem is not a calorie deficit. Controlled fat loss can be useful, especially when extra body fat is part of the problem. The problem is trying to rebuild the body with no recovery, no strength signal, and no fuel quality. Low energy availability and aggressive restriction can become a stress signal. So, the goal is not to punish your body lean. The goal is to rebuild it lean. The rebuild step: use a controlled deficit. Protein first. Lift. Walk. Sleep. Track your waist. Do not turn fat loss into self-destruction. You are not trying to win a 7-day challenge. You are trying to build a body that still works 10 years from now. This is where most testosterone content goes wrong. Boosters are more clickable than sleep. They are more exciting than waist loss. They are easier to sell than lifting, walking, eating protein, reducing alcohol, and protecting recovery. But if you are sleeping 5 hours, carrying extra belly fat, barely lifting, drinking late, and crash dieting, do not pretend the missing piece is a magic capsule. That does not mean supplements are always useless. It means the basics are not optional. A supplement should never become a way to avoid the habits that create the environment in the first place. The boring levers are boring because they are repeatable, not because they are weak. If symptoms are serious, test properly. If labs are consistently low, talk to a qualified professional. But if the system is broken, rebuild the system first. Because testosterone is not separate from your life, it responds to the system you live in. So the 5 habits are simple. Treating sleep like it is optional. Ignoring the waistline. Stopping serious strength training. Living in the stress, caffeine, alcohol loop. And dieting aggressively without recovery. If you are rebuilding your body after 35, subscribe for more evidence-informed systems like this. Lose belly fat, regain energy, age stronger.